Alright guys, part one of the video. Now the camera angle on this is going to be a bit strange because I can't find my gorilla grip to grab my phone off anything, so I'm going to have to wedge it up on my step ladders. But yeah, the ply lining we got done in the filter house. Filter's going to be here. So yesterday I put a base coat on, just of matte black, and then just mapped out basically where some rocks are going to go. And then today we're going to paint the koi over this. Don't know if we're able to do a Sankey or a shower, whatever takes our fancy when we're going. So it's all going to be free-handed on with acrylic paint. But yeah, hope you enjoy. Right guys, going to put some base coat white on just to put an outline of the koi on. Let's have a look at this. And a koi swimming down today. We'll go for a shower today. So what I'm doing now, just blocking in the white, just giving like a base coat just over the top of the black, just to get that body shape right. At this point you can change it, adjust it if you needed to. So I'm going to make it too wide. It's hard to paint the black over again and not make it look like you've made a mistake. So there's no detail or anything going in at the minute. It's literally just a basic shape, like a teardrop. The angle looks a little bit strange from your camera view, but I'll show you shortly. yeah, pond's coming on nice now. Get order the sleepers this week. They're going to be coming. There's about 40 sleepers, I think there is altogether. Been waiting for the builders merchants where we are to get them back in stock. He had some in, but they weren't the best quality, so he says just wait a week. And he knew he was going to get some decent ones in again. And then that can be built. Pond glass is going to be on order as soon as that's done and built. Like Carl at CWD, like a lot of his videos, he says always build your pond up before you order your glass or anything, just to make sure. It's also going to have a box liner in it as well, so that can be ordered once everything's all squared up. There we go, it's the basis of that on. Just pull that off because it does look a little bit strange from where you are. Alright, okay guys, just pulled you off the stand a minute. That's the basis of the first koi shape. And then we're going to build up layers on top of layers in a minute with colour. Red, black, white. I'm going to put some shadowing in on the body first, which I'm going to get to now. Yeah, hope you like the process. Some people always wonder how you do your paintings. It's just one of them things, just go with it, do your own thing. If you're not happy with it, change it. It's your painting, you can do what you want with it. Some people will say, oh, this isn't right, that isn't right. Who cares? Nobody. If it's in your own filter house, who cares? If it's on your own wall, who cares? Just have fun doing it. And on a day like today, you look out the shed, you see how windy it is. Yeah, nothing else better to do. Sitting here, painting, amazing. Alright, I'll put you back on the stand. I'm just going to put some shadowing in on the body. Just going to take a little bit of a smaller brush. Start mixing a little bit of grey with the white. And start dropping in some shadows. Put where his gill's going to be. Blend that into that body of that white. Now that white isn't solid. I don't want it to be because it's going to have the red and the black and some more shadowing over the top of it as well. So basically what you're trying to do is make it like shadowed where the dark is and then just blend it out. So this bit's in the shadow and blending out to a highlight here, which will get a pure white put over it later on, which you'll see. So this is a small side of the shed that we're doing now. So we've got the even bigger side to do after, which is going to be huge, absolutely huge. A little bit of shadowing underneath his eye here. Bring that right the way down to the mouth. Bottom lip in, and top of his top lip in, just defining it a little bit more. And then roughly his eye. Like I say, these aren't 100% where it goes, you just need to stand back, check it. Looks about that there. There's all different ways you can paint koi. They don't have to be 100% perfect. It's a good thing with art, you can just basically go with your own thing. If you want to paint a dragon koi, paint a dragon koi. If you want to paint a unicorn koi, paint a unicorn koi, whatever tickles your fancy. But you'll get the purists that are like, oh, that isn't right, that isn't right. It doesn't matter. As long as it's pleasing to the eye for you, that's all that matters. The shadowing over the side of his face here, coming up to where his eye is, but that'll be in highlight there. So now we're going to put his dorsal fin in. So it starts up by the tail, comes off his back, like that. And then roughly comes down halfway, just above half, about there. And we always put the dark in first. That's it. Then there's a little bit of a twist in this. So just blocking the colour, no detail at the minute. And because that koi is coming face down, you're not actually going to see much detail in that fin anyway. There we go. Now we've got a little bit more shadowing to put in here as well. Starts around about here. This is a light grey again. Build up the layers, build up the layers, build up the layers. That's obviously going to be shadow there. And this will be dark and then coming into light. This will be dark coming into light. Lightest spot. There'll be a highlight here on the red. This is going to be quite dark here. Blend that out. That is different because I'm painting on wood here, so you do find even though I've put the layer of black on, it's still sucking the water out of the ink quite quick, out of the paint quite quick. So for blending, you just have to do it as you go. Whereas if you're doing it on a canvas, you've got about 5 or 10 minutes. Where you can still push that paint around a little bit. Yeah, a little bit of shadowing on his fins. Like I say, all this will get highlighted as well. Just blend them out a touch, a bit harsh. So yeah, so I worked it out last night. So pond's going to be around about 5,000 litres. So not massive, but just manageable. I'll probably have looking at about 4 koi in it, especially when they start getting a bit bigger. So at the end of this video, I'm going to give away a painting that I've done. I'll get it from my studio tomorrow and I'll put it on to the end of this video. All you need to do is like and subscribe to the channel, and then I'll pick a winner and I'll send it to you free of charge, in the UK only. It's one of my koi paintings I did last year of I think it's a Sankey with some lilies. There'll be some lily pads going on this over here as well. Big lilies, big lilies. Probably another koi coming up just showing his head at the bottom. Always wanted a filter house with some koi on the wall. Don't really see it that often. Normally just see paintings that are hanging in people's filter houses, but I thought, you know what, let's just paint it anyway. So my full-time job's tattooist. So come from a painting background. Oh, I'll just show you guys that because I know it's a funny angle from over there. There we go, guys. So that's the first layer of grey put in. That's going to be the shape of the koi. Probably change the shape of this pec fin just on this side, just make it a little bit wider. Now step back and have a good look at it. But I think a lily pad's going to go here anyway. There'll be a big lily pad here. And with these rocks, what I do, so this is just a basis of like a haze under the water. So where this rock's coming out, we put a harsher line in and then make that more grey so it looks like it's popping out of the water. And then around the edges, all the way around it, we put air bubbles. Tiny little details with little white highlights, little bubbles. And we do that on every single one of these, unless they're all submerged in the water. But yeah, this one's going to be huge on here. So it's probably going to be about 3 or 4 koi on that wall there. I do apologise about the lighting. I haven't got any electrics in here at the minute. So yeah, let's start getting some red on so you can have a look at that. So now the big choice is what pattern we put on this fish. We're putting in like a deep red on this first, because it's going to be a lighter red over the top of it. I'm not too fussed about this bit here, because that's where the sumi is going to go over. We're just putting the benny in first. Just blocking the colour in again like we did it first. Doesn't matter if it goes in patchy to start with. Come down onto his head. Come back up again. Over his gill plates. And then we'll come round the back of that gill plate there, I think. Like that. And we'll join back in there. It's a good thing with painting koi. Unless you're doing it for a customer or for photo, you can do whatever you want to do. Just blocking in the colour. Picking up a little bit of that white underneath, which is it's still a little bit damp, which is absolutely fine at the minute. Obviously we go a little bit deeper on the edge of the benny. And then we crisp that up in a bit with a smaller brush. So I'm just using a big flat brush at the minute just to put it all in. There we go, first layer on. Let's put some more. Put have a spot on his head down here. Probably on his, yeah, just down here. I used to do a lot of these paintings for people, and what they used to do is send send a photo over, and then I'll try and, well, I was going to say then. Yeah, so basically they send them over, and then we recreate that onto a canvas for them. In the koi pose that you all know on the posters, which is straight down. Seeing all the top of the koi with the markings, which are really cool. So it is something I'm thinking of getting back into, especially now I've started doing this again. I do apologise, the wind's terrible. It's terrible in here, so it must be bad on the video. Let's cut this tail off up here with one arm. Oh, there's going to be Sumi, which is the black. If you're watching this and you're not up on koi terms, so Sumi is the black that comes through on the koi. So when they're young, it comes through like, you can see it under the skin, and as the koi ages, it starts to come out. Same with the benny, so the benny's the red of a koi. Touch that in and then we'll just let that dry. I'm just blocking in still at the minute. Going to be multiple layers going onto this koi. I'll just show you that one. There we go. That's the benny put on. And now we're going to put some Sumi on as well, which is the black, which makes your artwork pop. Now some of this is going to be over the red, which isn't a problem. Some other brush. So just block it in. It's going to have a couple of layers of this on anyway, so it's only just the basis of where I'm going to put stuff. It's a big koi. It's about 2 foot. Yeah, about 2 foot. So that black against that white's lovely. That's when your paintings start coming alive, and then you put all your highlights in. longer shower with this. So, for those who are watching that aren't koi keepers, and those who are koi keepers, if I get this wrong, just shoot me now. But yeah, Sankey has the black. So on a fish, you've got a lateral line that comes all the way down. So the Sankey will only have the black sumi above the lateral line, whereas a shower, which is another type of koi, have it above and below. I think I got that right. Shoot me now if I haven't. So literally now I am just putting the sumi in, but I am going to go back in with some grey in a minute and put in the sumi that is underneath the skin, but that will be done in a grey. Just block it in, block it in. Good thing with acrylics, it dries so quick, and we've been out in the filter house, it's quite warm in here, so it doesn't take long for the layers to dry, so you can't just keep building and building and building. Now when I'm in my studio, my tattoo studio, I've got an art room there and I do it all in oils, and it just takes weeks, absolutely weeks, sometimes months before you can finish a painting. And I'm a bit, I want a painting done in one go if I can, which is nice when using acrylics, so you can get a lot done quick. But the good thing with oils is if you want to adjust something, it's very easy to adjust, because it's still wet and you can still push the paint around. There we go. Pull that sumi right the way across, come back round on itself, and then this is actually going to go over the red. And same with this, there's absolutely no rules of where you want to put your sumi. If you're just having fun with a painting like this. Like I say, it's different if it's somebody's koi you're painting and they've got specific marks, and you have to be really careful of where you're putting it just to make it look like they're koi. As long as you've got a decent photo. It's all about the photos. Literally just blocking that back in. Still picking up a tiny bit of the white underneath, but it doesn't matter because we're going to go over it again anyway with grey highlights and then a white highlight. Same as all this is all going to get put in pure white. It's really going to pop. A little bit darker for the eye, I think. Let you guys have a look at that. There we go, guys. Coming along nice now. Like I say, still looks up. To be fair, it does look a bit pink in this light, but it is red. But like I say, I'm going to put more deeper tones over that in a minute, where the shadows are. It's going to look cool when the lily pads are all around it. And I'll probably put some like grey and white lines coming over it to make it look like the colour's coming through the water slightly as well. I think I'll just going to bold this Sumi up here. Let's put you back on the stand. Found some deeper red. Use the bathroom guys. Just after some brushes. I'm just making a deeper red now. Yep. And what we're looking for is the shadowing. You can't really see it on video. I'm just putting a darker red in there. Just in that shadow area. As it comes up the side of the koi, it'll just lighten out. Into the lighter. Still still a little bit wet, so we can still blend that in a little bit. Dark down here. So it's still no detail going in yet. I'm literally just blocking and stuff. But now we're putting in the dark tones. I always start with the mid-tones. A lot of people do painting different, but I always block it in first, and then it's easy to just drop the shadows in and then the highlights over the top. So I try and paint it all in one go to the tones. Blend that up there. Touch. And that's in there, so that's behind his gill plate there. A little bit of shadowing in there. Not a lot. A little bit there, but as he comes up to his top of his head, it gets a lot lighter. This is quite dry up here now, so I'm just going to top that up with a little bit of red to make that red a little bit deeper. Also blend into that dark that we've just done. Same with this one here. Perfect. Perfect. It's better. A bit more up here. Brighten that red up a touch. If you go over the black's easy, just touch back in after. So basically what you're doing is just doing a gradient, dark into light, dark into light. Just basics really when you're at school and you're shading a pear. We've all done that before. Or an apple. Looking better. What I'm doing now is just crisping up this Benny, which is the red, for the non-koi keepers. Very strong lines where it meets the white of the koi, unless it's juvenile and the colours are still coming through, like I said earlier. Also now, just going to put a little bit of the sumi in that's underneath the skin. I've literally used 3 colours at the minute. That's all we're using. Dead simple. So the sumi, where it's young, will be coming through here. And that'll just be a grey. same sort of pattern, but a lot lighter tone, because it's underneath the skin. So as that koi ages, that'll come through as solid black. But it's really hard when you go to buy a koi, unless you buy one that's fully grown, and that's a chance you take. You see a lot of people with grow on ponds. James the Koi Whisperer, shout out again, here we go. He's doing that at the minute, him and his wife. So they bought a lot of koi and they just want to see which one's going to produce the best looking fish, and they've got a bit of a competition going on. I think they just want to keep adding fish to the pond, really. Like on his last video the other day at Southwest Koi, got an absolute amazing deal. The problem is I'm so far away from it, I can't get down there, which is a shame, because their prices, they're doing, I think it's the 1st of September, some of the koi are near enough half price, which is an absolute bargain. Celebrating the 1-year anniversary. Which in this climate is a good thing to get to. Good luck to Southwest Koi with that sale. I'm sure you're going to be absolutely rammed. Right, so what I'm going to start doing now is just blocking in, putting a little bit more detail in the white, just down by the dorsal. And this just makes it absolutely pop then. We try and go with the shape of the scales, so it still leaves a little bit of shadowing in between. So I tattoo a lot of koi, and this is probably got to be one of the tedious jobs of doing all the scales. But it's just what makes the koi, to be fair. Unless you've got a koi with no scales, which are really easy to paint. I'll show you guys this in a minute, what I'm doing, and how much it makes a massive difference. Just paint it right up to that sumi. If you paint it over it, you can always paint over it again with the black. Black easy goes over the white. And what I'm going to do then is just go a little bit grey on these scales here. I'll do that now. I'll show you on the next section. Well, these will have a wash over it, so these aren't going to be as in your face. They look like in your face at the minute, but I'm going to put a little bit of a shadow in over it in a minute, with a bit of a wash over it. It'll just take that tone down a touch. Just when you see this in a minute, you'll start seeing the shape of the koi come in, instead of it just looking like a tube of colour. I'm also going to put just a little bit of a highlight on this sumi, just as it starts coming up, especially up on the top of the koi here. Alright, you can see it's starting to come along now. A little bit of a close up for you. So I've still got to block all this in yet. Just starting to put some scale pattern in here. Just an accent, doesn't need much. So that's going to be shaded over in a minute anyway with a little bit of a wash over it. And put some shadowing up on here in a minute. And then bring this up onto the highlight coming down here. Try and step back for you. Got a hole in the floor at the minute. Ready to plumb the filter in next week. But yeah, it's looking quite cool. Like I say, if you do like the video, if you could subscribe to me. New channel really, used it for my fishing quite a lot. Never done any koi paintings like this on it. Like I say, I'm just thought I'd do some, because I really do enjoy doing them. But yeah, to put you back on the stand, we'll do a bit more. Just working in the shadows down here now with the grey. Just putting the basic scale pattern in. Doesn't have to be every individual one. Just read your eye that there's a bit of shadow down there really. I'm sure there's going to be some people out there going, oh, you're doing it the wrong way, you're doing it the wrong way. Well, don't worry about it. You're having fun. Creating art. I'd rather be doing this than sat in the pub, to be fair. Just have a go at it as well. Don't be scared of picking up a paintbrush and doing something. Because if you make a mistake, paint over it, start again. Make another mistake, paint over it, start again. It's the only way you learn really. Unless you go to classes, which I've never done. So self-taught tattoo artist. 15 years ago I started that now. That's going well. YouTube, absolutely great, picking up tips, hints. Free as well, unless you want to pay for the ads, which is an absolute joke sometimes. And just putting in the general layout, some scale pattern in the shadows again. You can just see it's starting to come alive. You can put some over the sumi as well. So we live in Staffordshire, which isn't far from Newark, but yeah, it's about 2 hours. It's not the best of roads to get to. So I was going to go to the show this weekend, but 2 hours there, 2 hours back. Takes a big chunk out of your day. And we were at a wedding yesterday, so I didn't fancy driving all the way down there this morning. But yeah, for all the koi keepers, there's some absolute. I saw Telford Koi Pond video earlier, and there's some absolute bargains to be had. 10 pesos, like 200 quid, brand new. Saw on one of the stands there was Vary pumps 10,000 for 160. which is fine if you're close by, but if you're away and you've still got to pay your petrol and getting out, I know it's cheap to get in this show, was actually, I think it's £7.50 a person, which is an absolute bargain really. If you just wanted, unless you wanted a really decent fish, because some of the fish in there are outstanding. There's one in Telford Koi Pond I was watching, he's like, I think it's about £6,000 for a fish. Which if you've got the money, it's absolutely fantastic. But just literally building up with a bit of detail now. Where the highlights are with the white. Start putting a little bit over the red, so over the Benny, tiny a little bit over the Sumi and the lightest parts, so making it look like a highlight now. You can just blend it a very tiny bit with your finger if you wanted to sort of little touch like that. The wind's died down a touch now. Hope it isn't too bad for you guys on there, because I'm only using it on my phone. Sorting them off a touch, not too much in your face. A little bit of work up on this fin. So I put the mid-tones in when we blocked it in, so now I'm putting the dark in. And then I'll just work over the top with white. Just blend this out where you want it. Don't worry if you go too dark, you can always lighten it up again. Very different painting on the wood though, you do feel the grain through it, even though it's quite smooth plywood. We're painting on 12mm plywood here, which is going to be the basis of screwing the Tempest to and stuff like that when we do the koi build. I'm just going to squirt this off. This is where you can adjust a little bit if you need to. What I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to just do the shadowing on the face down here, and then that'll be it for today. And then second part of doing this, just this one panel, we'll be finishing the koi off and then starting on all the lily pads, which I'll do another video for. So if you subscribe to the channel, you'll get a notification when I post the next video up, which would be great if you could subscribe to me. Yeah, let's get this in down here. Great. Right, finally show you this, what we've done today. And it's been a long video, but somebody did say to me, can I do a video of the whole painting and not just a time lapse? So I'm just going to spin you around now. you go. So I've got all the fins to do, a lot of work on the head, and then over by the red over here we've got to go with the dark coming into light, then all the little scale pattern on that. And then we're going to do big lily pads over here, big one over here, and then a big like a white wash coming over, as if the koi's fins coming out the water. Let's try to stand back a bit more for you, can't get that much more. But yeah, there you go guys, it's coming along nicely. And then we've got all this to paint as well. All that. That's about 6 foot. 6 foot by 4 foot. So all that's going to have a black base on it. And then we're going to paint some big cutty over that as well. So thanks for watching. I do appreciate if you watched to the end of the process. Like I say, this one isn't finished yet. This is only part 1. Part 2, there's a lot of depth to go into the koi. And then a lot of highlights to go on, and then we've got the rock work and the lily pads. But yeah, thanks for watching guys, I'll see you on the next.